Follow these tips and you guys can become an edge highlighting boss.
Then the entirety of the cosmos is accessible to each and every individual's mind, connecting to the great mind, the great spirit.
Welcome back to the channel, collectors. So today in this video we'll be showing you guys some tips of how you can improve your edge highlighting and make your edge highlighting so much smoother. Alright, so you're ready? Let us begin. So there are a couple of factors that go into an edge highlight. First, it needs to look sharp, and secondly, it needs to look even. So the following tips are how I usually edge highlight and the factors of what goes into a smooth and even edge highlight so that you guys can edge highlight like that avium metal style that Games Workshop usually does. So the first component to an edge highlight is paint dilution. So when you're edge highlighting, it's recommended that your paints are slightly thicker than normal so that they don't overflow and flood the entire model. As you guys can see right here, the control of paint dilution is usually seen like this. If there's too much water, the paint will usually bead up on the wet palette. If there's too little water, you have lumps of the paint. So what you want to achieve is a nice diluted paint which is smooth across the wet palette. So after paint dilution, the next component would be paint composition. So what is paint composition? In this segment, we talk about the value of the paint. When you are doing edge highlighting, it's recommended that your paint value is slightly higher than the existing value, say for example on your miniature and your midtones. If you want to understand more about values, you can check out the video right here. So to ensure that the composition is higher in value, what you can do is you can try to add a little bit of off-white and a little bit of white into your existing color so that you can achieve a higher value which will show up as an awesome edge highlight. So the next component about edge highlighting is really important, and that is brush loading. When you're edge highlighting, the brush needs to be relatively dry and not overloaded. As you guys can see right here, an overloaded brush looks like this, where the belly is full of water and paint and the tip might not always be sharp. But there are chances where the tip can be sharp and the belly is still full. So what you want to do is make sure that the brush is completely dry before picking up the paint, and after you pick up the paint, make sure that you take off the excess paint on a smooth surface such as your fingernail or a piece of towel so that you can get that perfect edge highlighting. So you have followed all the steps and now the brush is perfectly loaded. What do you do? So where do we contact the brush onto the miniature? Of course, edge highlighting is about the brush scratching the surface on the edges so that you get that very smooth highlight. But what we need to do now is which part of the bristle needs to be in contact with the model. Do you use the tip, use the middle, or use the belly? So what I would recommend is use the middle, because if you use the tip will usually fray and you can't get an even edge highlight. Secondly, if you use the belly is usually too thick and you get a very thick and uneven edge highlight. What I recommend is using the middle so that it's as firm as possible, and with a nice smooth stroke, get that really smooth edge highlight. So now the brush is already on the miniature. What next? What other factor could go wrong with edge highlighting? The very last factor would be brush pressure. Now that the middle of the brush is on the edge, you want to pull really lightly so that just the paint comes off and not the bristle will fray. You don't want to put too much pressure to bend the bristles and the tip will fray and you will get an uneven edge highlight. A bonus tip to this is when you're edge highlighting, what I try to do is I try to pull the paintbrush towards myself rather than push away. When I pull the paintbrush towards myself, I find that I have a lot more control than pushing the brush away, because when pushing the brush away, there's a chance for the bristles to fray. However, when I pull it towards myself, I find that I have a lot more brush control. So there you have it. Those are my top tips of how you can become an edge highlighting boss. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and if you can, share it all over social media if you found it was useful. Alright? So if you can afford it, go on and be a patron today. I really appreciate all the patrons helping me and allowing me to keep producing content like this. I hope to see you guys in the next video. See you guys.